right, good morning, everyone. Oh, sorry, good afternoon, everyone. I am LaJuan Counts. I'm the City of Detroit's Group Executive for Construction and Building Operations, and I'd like to thank you all for being a part of this moment today. I would like to begin by recognizing Mayor Duggan's leadership and vision to transform Detroit from blight to beauty. This demolition here at the Mammoth building is a direct reflection of that initiative and that vision. I'd also like to recognize the strong collaborative effort between the city's law department and the City of Detroit's construction and demolition department, because it's through all of those efforts that got us to this point. This building, for the past 2 decades, has been vacant. And it's been a source of frustration for the neighbors and the neighborhood that surrounds it. But all of that changes today. We started in June with the abatement efforts. And as you can see today, Homridge, it's a Detroit-based contractor, actually started the demolition efforts this morning. We will continue those efforts until the entire building is completely down and removed. And then we will progress to the Sky Bridge that's across Grand River. That will be removed as well. We anticipate our work to be completed here by the end of October. But this demo is it's another demo in a promise kept. The promise to return or restore safety and opportunities to the neighborhoods, opportunities and safety to the residents that live nearby this location. So with that, I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce the person who's been driving this effort from day one, Mayor Mike Duggan.
Well, I know for the neighborhood here, this has been a long time coming. I think my first month in office, Councilman James Tate said to me, this is a prime corner. It should be providing shopping for the neighborhood. And because of this long abandoned building, it's actually taking the neighborhood down. It's been a long struggle, but this hasn't been the only neighborhood. And we set out to take the commercial buildings that had held this city back so long. The Packard plant was closed in 1957. Some of you were with me with the neighbors on Concord when we took the Packard plant down, and before this year's over, I expect to have a development plan before City Council to use at least half of that property. The folks over on Connor looked at the Cadillac stamping plant for 30 years. It's now reopened as a 700-employee Lear seating plant. If you go over to Michigan Avenue, Southwest Hospital, another one where Conrad Mallett and the litigation team have been very active, that has been closed for 20 years. It's going to start coming down this fall for a new commercial development, including a soccer stadium, to bring that corridor of Michigan back. The Uniroyal site on Jefferson has been abandoned for 40 years. Before this year's open, we're going to get a proposal again in front of council to make it a park and recreation space to activate it for the community. And I'm very pleased that we are finally getting this building down. I think Conrad Mallett and the law department went through 10 different hearings. This is the way it goes, is that even the property has been vacant for 20 years, that people miss opportunity after opportunity, deadline after deadline, failed promise after failed promise. We can finally step in, and when this is complete this fall, we will immediately begin marketing this property. And I suspect Councilman Tate will be here at some point with the next mayor talking about a development on this corner for the benefit of Northwest Detroit. And so with that, let me turn it over to the man who's been fighting for this longer than anybody else, Councilman James Tate.
Well, good afternoon. Yeah, there we go. A little bit more energy. That's better. I'm excited today, right? I'm excited, but it feels weird to be excited about a demolition, about something being torn down. But the reason why I'm excited is because of not of the demolition and what's being torn down, especially a building that has so many memories attached to it. I didn't get a chance to live that time when it was the Federal's building, but I saw the black and white photos. But I did get an opportunity to create my own memories when it was Kingsway and Mammoth, and certainly had lost some of its luster by that point. But it was still a space for young folks like myself then to hang out and have a good time right here in the neighborhood. And for the last 20 years, it's been creating even more memories, but those memories aren't good like the ones we had before. It's been bringing down this neighborhood, this community, our side of town, and I would say when you have the collection of properties that have been torn down over the years that the mayor has focused on and transformed our communities and our neighborhoods, those memories are memories that we don't want to see and experience anymore. But now we have an opportunity to create new memories. As we now get rid of this eyesore, this piece of blight, new memories for a new opportunity for our community who deserves it. This is not just about ticking off something and saying we did, patting ourselves on the back. Certainly this is, as mentioned before, a promise that was made by the mayor, and it's a promise kept. So I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, again. Y'all give it up one more time for Mayor Duggan for his efforts here. Can't say that enough times. I also want to thank Construction and Demolition Department for staying steadfast and doing all the surveys. And I know I got on your nerves like crazy, Director Counts, but it all matters. And of course, want to thank the Law Department for all the hard work. We stood here not terribly long ago, and we thought we were right around the corner to knock this building down. But with this series of lawsuits that sometimes slow down process and progress, here we are today. But my biggest shout out has to be to the neighbors in the community who refuse to allow us to forget about this building, even when we have all these other high priorities in and outside of the city, in and around the city of Detroit. I just again thank you all for the commitment that you've made to your community, and we're going to continue to ensure that we do everything we can to move us forward and move us forward together. And with that being said, one of those folks who I just gave a huge appreciation for, I want to bring him forward, and that is Mr. Corporation Counsel himself, Conrad Malley. Y'all give it up, Conrad Malley.
I'll be very brief. 3 judges, 2 years, and countless hearings brought us to the moment we are at today. This is never an easy process. There will always be persons who are in opposition to the forward progress of the city of Detroit, but I promise you this. Under the leadership of President Pro Tem James Tate, under the guidance of Mayor Mike Duggan, with the steadfast leadership of Director LaJuan Counts and her partner in crime, Tim Palazzolo, who is the Director of Construction and Demolition. We will keep at this process. We will not tire. We will not flag in the face of the opposition that we know is going to come. Everything that the mayor outlined, every single one of those projects was fraught with opposition, and we celebrate today the fact that we have finally realized the goal. And with that, Mr. Tate.
We can't go without having some of our residents come forward, and I want to bring the Matthews here. Come on up, y'all. Y'all give it up for our members of our District 1 community.
Thank you, guys. I want to thank Mike Duggan and the City Council for all they've done for the city in this restoration work. We live just right here on this block here, so we are part of the Wickham Block Club. We hope in the future that something comes that's beneficial for this community, just to continue to grow for this West Side area. This at one time, and I grew up in this area, was the crown jewel when it was Federal's. As a child, I used to get on the bus and come up here and shop. On this corner, before there was a Fairlane or a Northland, you could shop and pretty much get any and everything you needed for your household. And we're hoping that something comes back that could be of service to this community. Thank you.
I just want to say that I hope the city continues to go after these companies that are playing the consistent shell game and changing ownership in order to avoid responsibility for the properties that they own, and that we can bring the whole city up. And I'm curious. I've heard that there's going to be an abatement of the rodents and stuff. I'm not sure who to ask what the plan is on that.
Thank you, guys.
I guess with that, we'll take questions, but we're going to have the health department out here on the rodents in no time. All right.
Give an update on the legal process and who owns the building and who's going to pay for the demo.
So a gentleman represented whose name is Mr. Hamoud owns the building. The process, however, is that the next step, there will be a Court of Appeals hearing on his request to set aside the default judgment. But remember this, and this is very important. Mr. Hamoud went to the Court of Appeals and asked for a stay of this demolition, and the Court of Appeals denied it. We then had a court hearing on Friday with Judge Brian Sullivan with the same request to delay demolition, and Judge Sullivan denied the request, which is why we are here today. We do believe that the Court of Appeals will side with us. We do believe, obviously, the demolition will be complete by the time the Court of Appeals hearing is held. And finally, we will be suing the owners for reimbursement associated with this demolition. This is a legal process that will continue, but it was important that we celebrate this particular eventuality. So, John, that's a very fair question. Once we get the process associated with collection in place, I can guarantee you there will be conversations about what's next. Those conversations will be handled by the law department, by economic development, and by the mayor's office as we go forward.
So we're pretty used to this by now. We took down the Packard plant while it was still in private ownership, worked it out, we got title, we're developing it. On Southwest Hospital, we sued, it's taken down while the private owner owns it, and they're paying for the demolition, and they'll redevelop. There'll be a lien on this property for the cost of demolition. If the current owner wants to develop it, we will support them. If not, I'm sure we'll end up working something out with them. But one way or another, we'll work hand in hand. The value of this site, I believe, is going to be dramatically greater once this building is gone and is a site ready for development. Luan, what's the price tag? $2.6 million. This is one of the bigger demolitions we've done. Yeah. What's that? Yeah, and so I just heard about that, but I'm going to make a call to the health department as soon as I leave. But this is the great thing about being in the communities here, is I learn something and we respond to it. So.
On the topic of rodents, can you describe what makes this property different from the other properties that the city has revitalized, Michigan Central Station and many others?
So just a quick mention on the rodents. We've been in this location for several months now. There is no significant presence of rodents or any type of critters, vermins, that type of nature. Typically, if we do encounter it, we do enlist the assistance from the environmental group from Buildings and Safety. We have not experienced any known significant amount of rodents at this particular location.
I was asking about the building's condition and unsafe, unsalvageable.
So this building, like many, have structural concerns. It's been vacant and open for a significant amount of years. Mostly the greatest part is the unknown. While things look to be stable when you walk inside, you can't really say that until you've actually done all of the test and review of whatever the structural steel members, the integrity of the concrete flooring, all of the supports that go into that. It is like many others. It's far more cost effective to provide the demolition than to try and rehab or salvage what very little is structurally sound inside.
And just for the record, that was the same conclusion that the judge came to based on the report of the receiver who employed a structural engineer who did the examination. So the building, and with all of the deficiencies, was found to be structurally unsound. So that's not a casual conclusion that the judge came to. Structural engineers went in and helped her come to that conclusion. All right, thank you all. All right.